All right. Hey, sweetie.
Hey,
This is Michelle's show. I'm just kind of tagging along. She invited me. I call it Sessions with Sekhmet. Mama
yeah.
Katie roars. All right, I'll quit trying to embarrass you. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things we were talking about, like when we first met, I was very much a student of law of attraction.
Uh-huh.
And that really appealed to me because I liked the idea that I could create um, my own reality, my own life, because I had been abused and had such horrible relationships, a lot of financial difficulty, health issues, and I really liked the idea that I could change that by my thoughts and my feelings and by doing certain exercises that law of attraction teaches you that you can do to change your reality. Um, and then when we met, you explained to me that the law of attraction is just not a true law, universal law.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't exist.
one of the things that I wanted you to talk about with me today is um, to how I was so afraid to even think a negative thought or say anything negative about anybody because law of attraction says if you think something negative, you're going to get more negative things brought to you.
Yeah. Well, it's true that uh, the more positive you are in life, the easier it is to get through it as far as keeping yourself, maintaining your own um, um, drive to go forward. You can't let things beat you up and just win.
Uh-huh.
But the thing of there's you don't pull stuff to you because you're sad about something happening. Somebody kills your child. What are you supposed to not be upset about it? Hell no. Someone goes after my kids, I'm going to make sure they never get the chance to hurt them again because I love my kids and I love everybody. But by the same token, it's not like you're running around wanting to go out and hurt people because someone did it to your child. It's going to where the problem is in dealing with it. Now, if the law of attraction was true, uh, everybody would have what they want because they knew how to ask for it. Okay, and then when somebody wants to have a nice car, well, their thought process for nice, if everyone has the same car, is going to be nicer than anyone else. And the next thing you know, there's no way you could actually. There's no way anything could even feed that. And you can't tell me that there's this wonderful, loving energy somewhere, spirit somewhere, that wants everyone to be happy as soon as they learn how to ask for it. However, we have famine, disease, war, mutilations. I just don't understand. And there's so many wonderful, loving people that flow towards this process, wanting to, better their lives. If you look at the people involved in this, thought process, you'll actually find a lot of wonderful people that would, if they had money, would really do a lot to help others. But you find out most of the people that are involved in it that have made a lot of money off of it, they pocket it. It's like Esther Hicks. She always says, "Well, I had to spend all this money on my house because the universe wanted me to. If the universe was a loving thing, it'd want her to feed people, save animals."
Part of that law of attraction that, I studied it, I took courses, I bought every book really from Abraham Hicks that I could afford at the time. I did everything they told me to do as far as your list of appreciation, your list of things you want, and be specific about it. And um, you know, then they put out a book about why aren't you getting the things you want, and it was because I inside had resistance. That was their way of explaining why things that I wanted didn't happen to me because I had resistance. And they had this whole thing about how to release your resistance. And, like I was telling you, some of the things that I wanted did actually happen. And you kind of explained, can you explain that again, why I actually got some of the things I wanted that I've asked for?
Yeah, because you're supposed to have certain things. It's like a poor man. It's like, God, I wish I had food. God, I wish I had food. And all of a sudden, he had a meal. You ever think it was time for him not to die yet? I mean, it's like, oh, I want a new car. I want a new car. And then people start saving up for the new car. They buy it for themselves, and they say, "Yay, the universe got me a new car." No, that's not true. They focused on getting something for themselves, and they managed to actually put together the money and buy it themselves. There's certain things that are going to happen anyway. A lot of the law. There's that Q3 or some other stupid thing too. I'm a little abusive about it because when you can actually see who's been running everyone's lives, what's going on, and then they come up with this joke, and it was done by the female part of the original first being, of course, now dead, her and the male part. They literally set it up to be a bomb to keep people from ever becoming awake. But at the same time, if they thought about the universal energy, they could still be praising the original male and female first being. So it would still feed them praise, which, by the way, when you praise something, you increase its arrogance, which causes more problems for everything. That's why I have issues with praise. I ask people to give appreciation instead, because then you give something that gave you something, you give it appreciation and thanks for what it just did for you, instead of throwing it out to where it doesn't belong. So people saying thank you for this body. Well, it's Gaia that gave you the body, you know. But anyway, sorry, I don't mean to be pulling so far off a topic, but you know, there's things that you need to have to get through in your life, and it's like you have to have enough joy to keep you from committing suicide. That's always been a rule, although sometimes people still commit suicide. But that was the idea for the original first being, male and female, to abuse you in body, but yet give you enough joy to keep you where you don't do that. It's like they always used, which we always used to hear. God will never give you more than you can handle. And I was very involved in a church. I was forced into it when I was a little kid. And I first, as soon as I heard that, I said, "Okay, what the hell is suicide?" You know. But yeah, there's things we need to get by in life. And when you ask for something, you have spirit guides that work hard to help you with it. And this is a real thing. It's no universal loving power that you have to learn a certain way to do things. The heart grabs the major thoughts. This is the power of the heart energy for all you empathic people out there. The heart, and everybody, actually, because that's what's happening with everyone, but the empathic people really have a powerful heart. You literally the heart takes the major thoughts out of your brain as data. It takes the major emotions out of your base chakra as emotions, puts it together, and then sends out a feeling. This is going on continuously everywhere. When you really have a desire, when you need something, the strength of that feeling coming out of your heart tells the other side, your spirit guides and everything else over there, this is something I really need or want. And then they look at your life. They see if that's something that you can have without messing up what's supposed to happen to you, which has always been abusive, and then they decide whether or not you get it or not. And this is all changing now. This is all, being changed. Now, as soon as there's going to be Lily and Arrow over there running things, and then after the shortest time possible, as soon as they figure out this the new format set, and then figure out the best way to use the new format of compassion, honor, and equality, then they get out and creation runs itself. So, I've had so many people ask me, well, Jay, who do I give praise to? And I said, no one. Give thanks to somebody who gives you something, whether it's somebody handing you a sandwich, somebody that opens a door for you, an animal or a plant that gave you their own physical substance to maintain you while we still have these physical bodies. That's just where it goes, because it's family time. That's why it'll never be about another quote-unquote God or universal power or anything again. It's time for everyone to understand who they are, how things operate, and then family. But everyone's spirit guide, and people need to remember, their spirit guides are them when they're not in the body. I mean, they're spirit guides for someone else, just like they have spirit guides now for them. You want to thank somebody for getting something for you. Thank your spirit guide for helping out. There's no, God to bow down to.
Yeah, so like every time I would have, and that was something else, I might get little things that I asked for, and even through like a little parking place or getting a coupon in the mail that helped me save money. And I would always think, okay, I'm attracting this into my life. This is law of attraction at work. I'm really attracting this because I'm doing all my list of appreciation. So this is really working. I was always getting a little thing. That was really spirit guide.
And it's easy for a spirit guide to give you a parking lot, a parking space. Also, it's possible for something called junk mail to come to your house all the time because I throw away
Yeah.
more coupons than
Yeah.
I know what to do with. And it's not like people are made to go through life without getting anything, but that is control.
Yeah.
And if they want someone to really become embedded, if the other side wants someone to become embedded in the law of attraction and start praising the Almighty that way, of course there is none anymore. But anyway, no Almighty. But anyway, if they want that, then that's a good way to make it easy to give you a couple little things, and then you start getting something, and then what's the first thing they would do? Hammer you, so that you can't get it. It's like a lot of us, what they call psychics or readers. They'll be using the cards and they say the cards never lie. Well, the cards give a message. The cards don't lie about the intent and message, but the problem is the person giving the message will lie. Not all the time, but when it's time, it's like a reader will get stronger and stronger. And I've had over 1,000 of them, coming at me, talking with me about different things, and they'll say, Jay, I don't know what's going on. I got the good message, I gave it to them, and it was wrong. And I said, well, that's because you were lied to. And I'll tell them, whether it was their male or female spirit guide, what they were wearing when they showed themselves to them, and where it went through. And they say, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm watching them. I just watch it happen. And, it's no whoopee Jay. That's just what's going on. It's just like a person sitting at the corner with a camcorder and a microphone just going live and, saying what you see. That's all. And people can start seeing more and be aware of this for themselves. But to think that there's something that just wants you to have a perfect life when you learn how to ask for it. If you have that feeling in your heart where you really want it, that is how we communicate on the other side. So guess what? You don't need to buy, spend $1,000 on all this stuff. How you were working your butt off when I met you. 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, yeah, and then 5 o'clock in the morning was that when you left for work or you were at work or something?
I had to get up and I had to leave my house by 5:30 or 6 to get to the hospital in time. Yeah, to work 12 hours, 14 hours all day, 2 jobs, same.
Your feet, and you loved it.
I love surgery, but I don't like how they work you. Yeah, it's hard. It was hard, very hard.
And now you still work now. I mean, you understand the truth and what's going on. Okay, so and you work your butt off. You do work very hard. Plus, you take care of the animals and everything. However, now you're doing what you love. You got the animals taken care of. You talk against the silliness of stuff like the law of attraction, and I think you're doing better now than you ever were before.
Yeah, man. I used to never think a negative thought, and I was, my house was in pre-bankruptcy. And then when I met you and learned the truth, it set me free because I realized I had not brought everything upon myself as I had come to believe the law of attraction, that everything that negative had ever happened to me was because I thought about it and felt I deserved it. So I went from Christianity thinking God was punishing me and hated me to thinking, okay, well then I created this own reality myself, so I've done all of this negative stuff to myself, to learning the truth about what's really on the other side. So, I mean, I was literally set free from all of that.
Yes, when we look at it, like all the religions are the same as far as being incorrect and controlling. Christianity says this guy Adam, who was God's first son, but yet Jesus, they say, was his only son. That's there's so many problems with all the religions. I can spend hours on that, and we won't definitely. I don't want to waste your time with that, sweetie. But the thing is that Christianity says you didn't do anything wrong, but this Adam and Eve did, and they ruined it for you. The perfect, all-loving, all-forgiving God that made hell to abuse you forever is also punishing you because of something your old relatives did. And you go like, I was like, what the hell is this about? And then you have the law of attraction that says, man, you can have whatever you want. You just got to learn. You got to buy all this stuff and learn how to feel and act. And, I'm going to teach you how to act. And it's like, here's another religion. And then when you get metaphysically stronger and you can actually see things for yourself, there is no philosophy. There's no religion. There's no name for it. It's called, if you want to put a name on it, just call it Awakened Family. It's just everybody becoming awake for them seeing stuff for themselves. We all need our own truths. And when you see it for yourself, when you feel it with your heart, when you use your gut, your crown, your scanner, when you use your own personal abilities and know something for yourself, then at that one moment, you finally have your own truth. And once you have it, you keep it until it's proven wrong. And when you keep watching it, you're watching something happening daily. It's like watching the news and seeing two cars collide, and then you saying, well, that didn't happen. And you see the people hurt and everything, no.
Yeah.
You know for yourself. You see it, you feel it with your heart, you get the gut feeling about it. That's what the whole thing is. I mean, I've had so many people ask me what church and what religion and what, philosophy, and I said, I have none. I said, I'm all about you. I'm about everyone, everything. And it's just about waking up and seeing stuff for yourself. It's like there's a whole field of horses that are used to plow a field. I'm going by and taking the blinders off of them so they can realize they're not just stuck in a field. There's a forest, a river. So.
But there's a lot more I want to talk about with law of attraction because there's a lot of falsities out there that people need to know about.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the oldest sayings that's so true, and maybe one of the most abused sayings there is that the truth will set you free. That's a fact. But you know what? You got to get the truth first.
Yeah.
And the truth does not have a name attached to it. It's one thing, truth.
Yeah. That's true. Sorry, I've got a cat wanting to say hello to you.
Okay. Hey there.
This is a sweet baby.
Yeah, he says, hi, Mommy. I want to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tear something up. Yeah, honestly, that is important for people to understand. And when you go inside yourself to look for a problem, then that's condemning yourself to being wrong, to being deficient, to being problematic. You're not. The problem is what's been done to you. It's like, well, the original angels. We've all been taught, praise the angels, Lord. They save us. Well, angels have saved a lot of people, only because it wasn't time for them to die or to break an arm, break a leg, have to have surgery, break their bone, whatever, watch their children die. They had other suffering to go through first. All the suffering and pain will never be alleviated while we have these physical bodies. And there'll still be some emotional issues when we have the energetic bodies a couple thousand years from now. But in the meantime, when you get rid of that hard abuse, that's why I say by 2020, a third of the abuse that people are suffering is going to be gone out of their lives. Yeah. And then it gets better. But at least when you know what's going on and why, then you can finally understand what's really happening. You have a fix. You have a focal point. It's called your own abilities. You just see things and feel them as they're happening. And then the spirit guides, in a couple of months from now, before early 2016, the spirit guides will never be told to lie to the people that they're helping out. Plus, they won't be allowed to. There's going to be penalties for this. This is going to happen hard.
So that brings up the point, too, that as Hicks feels, he's talking to, I think she says, 1,000 or more energies on the other side that run the universe when she's actually talking to her spirit guide. So
yeah, she's talking to the male more so than the female. The female's her female spirit guide's really tired of it, and her male spirit guide is like, okay, I'm just going to keep going because I don't know what else to do, but he's just doing it. There's never been 1,000 nothing. Most of the stuff that she says, she's not talking to any of them. She's just making it up. It has gone so far past the point. The initial point was made to her, and then the male helped out a little bit. The female didn't want too much to do with it, and then now she's just making it up. Whatever increases the purse.
Very interesting. I think that'll help a lot of people too.
Yeah, and it's about people, animals, plants. It's time for everything to just understand, to wake up, to understand who they really are, what's really going on. There's no, I was going to say there's no books to buy. They don't have to. It's them going inside themselves, relaxing, flowing inside, and becoming aware. if you want to know what's going on, we do have those 2 books I wrote. The second one I'm finishing. That'll explain what's over there. But you know what? You could buy every DVD we have, the 2 books and everything else, and not spend $100. And then how much did you spend on Law of Attraction?
I'm embarrassed to say.
Well,
now, a couple of $1,000.
yeah, and then that's when you lived in your house.
5 years. Over a 4-year period, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I was trying to follow exactly what it taught in the book, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about that another time because people need to know.
Yeah, and you see people. So when I see all the people involved in this thing, when I see them, I hear them talk. I feel the love in their hearts. They're just looking for something. It's like you can go inside a church and you can feel so much love in these people's hearts. It's for me, it's sad. I remember being in there and talking about seeing the energy coming out of the choir, all the love they had in them when they were singing. And I mentioned it. My parents were there right with the minister. Because I used to be involved in the church in the lower levels, and they both looked at me like I was nuts.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, whatever. I've been talking to angels since I was a little kid. But sometimes they're problematic.
Yeah.
But that's right. Most of the original ones are gone. So there's not going to be anything messing with people. And people are going to they already have a whole lot more freedom. And there just needs to be some control on the other side.
Yeah. All right, well, maybe next time we can talk about the animals and what Law of Attraction says about animals and animal abuse, because that was really big for me.
We haven't talked about this, but I'm pissed already.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I don't think I'm going to listen. Let's not talk about it too much beforehand. Let's just do it on Skype.
Okay.
So I think I can keep from cussing much. But whatever it is, I already know I don't like it. It's arrogant, and it's abusive, and it's disgusting.
It is.
Okay. Okay. Well,
go.
I'll see you later, sweetie. I'm going to get going.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.